Okay, so welcome everyone. It's good to have you. Now today we have a question from Peter, and he asks about the law of attraction. It's a very general question. He just asked if I could talk a little bit about the law of attraction. So I think so far that hasn't been covered. Quite an interesting topic. So the law of attraction basically states that we attract what we predominantly think about and feel about. That's the idea. That our life is based on how the mind behaves. As such, it makes pretty much sense. And then you have this movie, The Secret, which is a bit, it's like you can say it's a bit of a corny movie. It's all about how to get more cars, how to get more successful in life, how to be more healthy, attract more relationships. It's all this kind of more things stuff. It's all about how to get more things, how to get more stuff, right? So yeah, you can use it for that, and it will be helpful in your normal worldly day-to-day life if your attitude is matching with what you want. If your state of mind, to say, is resonating with what you intend. If your state of mind is resonating with what you don't want, well, it's very, very likely that you continuously encounter and experience what you don't want. So if we have a very negative outlook on life, if we're continuously complaining, finding fault, then life itself, our surroundings, the people that we're with, the jobs that we do, the things we do during our day-to-day life, they appear dreadful. Now the question is, are they really dreadful? Is my partner really dreadful? Is my job really dreadful? Is the house I live in really that bad? Is my body really that bad? We tend to quickly believe that because when we focus on the bad, then that's kind of all we see, isn't it? If you're looking, for example, at your bad qualities, the mistakes that you make, the problems that you experience, the feelings that you have that are uncomfortable. And the question is, what will you experience in that case then? Well, you will experience uncomfortable feelings and uncomfortable events because that's what you focus on. That's where the attention goes. So I think the fundamental principle here is your attention. Where is your attention mostly? And for an untrained mind, an untrained person, we don't know where our attention is. That's the problem. We're experiencing life seemingly being in control, but we don't know what our attention does, where it goes, where our mind stretches towards. For example, the word attention, it means stretching out. It comes from the Latin word tendere. And tendere means stretching towards something. Like your tendon, right? It's the same kind of word. It's stretching out. So if your basic awareness is stretching out towards something, then we call that attention. So if your mind wanders towards a problem, then that's what you experience. And it's not only what you're experiencing, but what you're giving, it's what you're feeding actually. You're feeding what you pay attention to. And when you feed something, it becomes stronger, it grows. And then it pervades your experiencing more and more. That's the tendency. The more our attention feeds the beast, the more the beast grows. And if the beast grows into a massive, huge beast, then that will be your predominant experience. It will make a lot of noise in your life. And it works the other way too. If you are predominantly paying attention to what goes well, what you're grateful for, what you're happy about, then you're nourishing that with your attention. And instead of saying you're nourishing it, you could also say you're attracting it. So I think a very important question that we can ask ourselves is, well, how do you feel about yourself? What kind of person are you? What about your life? Maybe you want to do a little exercise and write down some of the beliefs that you have about yourself. Like standard beliefs. I could never do this, or I'm very good at that. Write down a few of those beliefs. There's hundreds of them, thousands of them. But if you write down a few of the most predominant ones, of the beliefs that run your day-to-day life, such as I can never heal, or I'm a total mess up, or everything goes wrong, constantly things go wrong for me, nobody loves me, I'm not good enough. These are very powerful, popular beliefs, very pervasive beliefs in our culture. The belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not really loved for who I am. If people really knew who I am, then they would turn away from me and leave very fast. It's these beliefs that shape your life. They have great power. They make you act in certain ways. It's very subtle. What you believe about yourself, it makes you act in certain ways. It makes you think in certain ways. It makes you speak in certain ways. And if you act, you attract. Also, we can say it's the law of action and result. Karma. Karma means nothing but action. The Buddha's teachings were all about action. It's all about action. It's all about the decisions you make. Even the decision to go into a state of non-action. You could consider that an action. It is a training that we undergo. And let's say, for example, you just embark on the journey of meditation. You don't really know much about the techniques, it's difficult, you feel nervous, restless, the mind is all over the place. And then quickly you form another belief, I can't do this. It's too difficult for me, I'm not a good meditator. Many people think that. They think that they cannot do meditation. Some people say, I can't go to the meditation session because I'm not good at meditation. Well, that's why you go to the meditation session, right? I can't do yoga because I'm not good at yoga. I'm not flexible enough. Well, that's why you go there, right? That's why you visit the classes, to get more flexible. You visit meditation classes to become better at meditation. That's the whole idea of this. But then people say, well, I cannot do it. Well, that's a belief, right there. It's a belief. And if you really buy into that, if you have a conviction about this, then you are attracting a reality into your life. It is true, unfortunately. What you believe is always true. It doesn't matter how you think, you are right. And for some people, that's doom. Some people it's nice because the way they think is pretty skillful. They're able to serve themselves through life. Easy. No problem. It'll pass. It's fine. They experience the same kind of problems that we all experience. They get old, they get ill, they die, they lose people they love, they lose their jobs. They have problems like we all do. but the way they respond to them is very skillful. And what is it that makes them so skillful? It's their mindset. The way they are able to naturally use their attention. Like some people, like achievers, like super top achievers, they focus on their goal. That is true in the realm of spiritual practice too. They know, first of all, they know what they want. They don't care about what they don't want. They don't waste their energy on what they don't want. It can be a huge waste of energy, right? To just continuously just think about, I don't like that, I don't like this, that, oh my God, what's that? What's wrong with them? And why would they do? Oh. You lose tons of energy for stuff that is absolutely inessential, unimportant, and does nothing but to disempower you, to bring you down. So the way we are utilizing our attention, what we do in life, this is what is shaping. What you do is shaping your life, right? But what you do, where does that come from? It comes from who you are. Is it not? The way you habitually think, what you habitually talk about. It comes from who you are, your personality. And your personality is a highly complex thing. It consists of many facets. Some of them are dormant most of the time, and suddenly they wake up, you didn't even know that you could do things like that. I wasn't myself. I'm so sorry I said that. I wasn't myself there. Something like that. There is a law to your personality that you never even thought that could exist. It's all there. Some facets are quite active regularly, some are dormant. And now the question is, how is your personality serving you? Is it in your way, yes or no? And how is it in your way? How are you actually harming yourself? And how are you harming others? This is important to find out. And then it's very important to learn to recognize it and to let it go and to transform it into benefit. And I found that the law of attraction is incredibly helpful on my own spiritual practice and my own spiritual path. I've been raised very orthodox on the spiritual path. Very orthodox in the Buddhist tradition, in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and as well in the forest tradition in Thailand. But there's something that resonates with this idea, and this is something that I incorporate because it has helped me so much. It is the beliefs that I have about myself. I've been basically started after about 13 years of practicing meditation. I noticed, wow, I'm in my own way. I actually hate myself. I don't like myself. I told that story before. And I'm meditating precisely for that very reason, because I don't like myself. I kind of feel like I need to fix myself. I need to get out of myself. But that's the perfect way to waste 13 years. You can waste easily 13 years if you don't see what's running you. What is it that runs your mind day to day? What is it that moves you? What is it that moves you to do things, say things? What is it that makes your choices, decisions, all that really important stuff? Where does that come from? And if we leave that in the dark, then, well, life kind of happens to us. You're not taking charge. And that's a I call that like a victim's position, isn't it? Now, oh God, my emotions are happening to me. Well, that's a classical victim's position. I'm attacked by my own emotions. Sometimes feels like that, right? oh, my relationship doesn't work out. It's not the way as it should be. And I feel attacked by that. I'm pulled down by that. Other people around me, they're not as they should be. And I feel pulled down by that. Oh God, I wish people were different or something like that. I wish my life was different. But you decide, though. Is it your life is not deciding? Well, it does in some way, right? Your life happens. It happens. Stuff happens, right? But you decide how you react, ideally. And it is in your reactions that you shape your life. And if you're unaware of your reactions and your habitual mood states, then you have no possibility to change your life around. You can't do the magic. As I wrote in my recent blog, these two character types, you have the victim mentality, right? That's the first one. Wow, life is happening to me, my thoughts are happening to me, I have too many thoughts, I have too many problems, why is it all happening to me all the time? And then you have the magician's attitude. This is somebody that acts creatively, that takes charge of what? Of their motivations, of what moves them. Because what moves you is what you attract. And how you feel is what you attract. If you feel really happy, you attract people who match with your vibe, if you want to say so. They go into resonance with your happiness because your happiness is powerful. Let's say someone else comes along and their happiness is not powerful, but their darkness is very powerful, then you might go into resonance with their darkness. But here again, you would have a choice if you would just notice what's going on. You could then either turn away, change, or change your inner state and pull them up. Now another belief might come up, well, I can't pull them up, they're lost. Well, that belief doesn't help you. Why not assume, and here we go into some deeper magic actually, why not assume that you can pull up people with your energy? Imagine that. Imagine that you can heal people by the way you feel. This is maybe it's maybe too much power for some of you. The ego feels scared if there's too much power. Sometimes it's like, oh my God, it's too much goodness. I'm unworthy of this kind of goodness. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. And there's the old belief again. Well, discard it and just simply pretend you do have the power to change other people's feelings. And forget the science about it, which is actually there. Forget it for a moment. You know placebos, right? They do work. Why does a medication work? They made an experiment with two types of medication. One, a tranquilizer. And what's the opposite of tranquilizer? Something gives you energy? How do you call it? Stimulant. Thank you very much. A tranquilizer and a stimulant. Stimulant is the red pill. Tranquilizer is the blue pill. They gave the tranquilizer to one group of people and told them it's a stimulant. They gave and there were actual medications, no placebos, and there were actual tranquilizers, actual stimulant. You give the stimulant to the other group and say it's a tranquilizer. It's like a new powerful tranquilizer, makes you really calm. They took the stimulant and ended up really calm. Feeling totally calm, wow. Feeling totally calm, and not only just feeling calm, but their body calmed down. That's pretty powerful stuff. So this is kind of an evidence of the law of attraction. Your cellular structure, your body, responds to the way you feel. and what you think about. And not only your body, but also that body that you call life, my life. That could be considered another of your bodies. The body of your life. That also responds to the way you feel, much like in a dream. Sometimes you dream about stuff, and then, sometimes I do the dream diary thing, I practice lucid dreaming, and so sometimes I notice very detailed what's happening in my dreams. I might walk into a room, the room is perfectly fine, and there's that one little thing, like a candle on the table or something, that gives me a sense of fear. And as soon as that tiny sense of fear arises in the dream, the whole dream turns into a nightmare. Immediately the room turns dark, the candle is the light is going out, and then I hear like creepy noises, and the room is flooded by centipedes and spiders and snakes and all that kind of stuff, and it turns into a horrible nightmare right away there on the spot. Why? Because of fear that arose inside of my mind. And since it is a dream, it's a very, it's not a dense environment, it's not a heavy environment like the waking state. In the waking state it takes a bit more time. But in a dream it's immediate, it's direct. And it's a nice reflection of how your life actually works. What kind of emotions do you predominantly harbor? This is what you manifest in your life. This is where you can be in charge. Are you finger pointing? Are you blaming? Are you complaining? Well, you're creating more of the stuff you don't want. And you're not using your real power, which would be to turn around the way you respond to life's happenings and to make it work for you. Let's just give you a simple example. You have relationship troubles. Your spouse doesn't act the way she or he should act. Yeah, sounds familiar probably. So other people are not the way they should be, okay? They happen very often not to be the way they should be. So if someone is not the way they should be, then how do you go into response to that? One way could be to just get upset about the fact that they are not behaving the way they should behave, so that you can be happy. That's one option, right? And it's an option that we very often take that option because we have no mindfulness. We don't know what's happening. We simply react. Problem, reaction, automatism, just happens. Another option, what could it be? An option that I frequently use is to say, oh great, I can practice patience. I'm serious about it, I'm not kidding you. Say, okay, fantastic, I can practice patience here. Maybe Panji criticizes me or something. She criticizes me. The way I drive, what I say. Oh, Tobi, you talk too much, let's go home. You're talking too much in your meditation classes. Sometimes give a meditation class and then everyone after the class is like, wow, that was a fantastic talk, really inspiring. And then Pan comes in and she says, why do you talk so much? How can I respond to that? Well, I can practice something because it goes into resonance with something inside of me that wants to suffer. And if I notice that, oh, there is suffering there, right there. I'm suffering right now. And I have mindfulness of it, I can turn it around and I can say, okay, how could I let go here? It turns into a fun game because I want to find out, can I actually let go now? Is it really possible to let go? Sometimes I have moments where I'm really getting angry or upset. And all of a sudden mindfulness kicks in and the anger turns into a fun game. I might just suddenly burst out laughing. All the seriousness goes out of it. It's because my attitude changes. Another thing that many spiritual practitioners have is they think they cannot do it. I can't do meditation. Enlightenment, that's way too far for me. That's beyond me, too deep. All these kind of beliefs, they keep you back a lot. You wouldn't even believe how much these kind of beliefs keep you back. Assume you're great at breathing meditation. You're a fantastic meditator. Can you feel like a fantastic meditator? I recommend that. Sit down and sit on your mat and feel like you are absolutely rocking in meditation. You're the best kind of meditator in Phuket. There's no one better than you. You sit down on your mat and you have a fantastic session. Can you feel that good about yourself? Having fun with it. Of course, not taking it seriously. It's like I'm better than everyone else. But to feel really good about yourself. To know, in a way, to cultivate the knowing that, yes, I can do it. And I'm good at it. I couldn't do that for a long time. And my meditation took off once I started doing that. Because I was in my own way with the way I believed me and my practice to actually interact. Well, I can't do it. I wonder if my teacher would approve of that. Am I doing it really well? Is that really the way it should be? I'm not sure. I probably messed up another year of practice. Maybe next year. You'll get nowhere like this. In life, not. In your spiritual life, not. In your financial life, not. In your health life, not. As soon as you have doubts about your ability to create the life you would like to create, well, you are right. There's no direction. Doubt means no direction. You're not sure. Well, instead of trying to feed the doubt, actually revolving around and around in the doubt, trying to figure it out by thinking more and more about it, thinking yourself into solutions which then short term give you some kind of satisfaction, and then another thing comes back that gives you more doubt. Stop feeding doubt. Instead, feed certainty. Have some faith in yourself. Yes, you can do it. Everybody can meditate. Everybody can stretch. Everybody can look at their breath. You can look at your breath, and you are good at it. Another thing, when you're sick, you can feel like as if you're healing. There's nothing wrong with feeling like as if you're healing. Your brain actually doesn't know whether you're actually just making it up or not. That's a good thing about the brain. It just simply responds to the way you feel. And if you feel like you're healing, your brain will be like, all right, okay, so I guess then that's what's going on right now. And then it goes into response. And if you feel, oh God, it's getting worse, well, you create more stress, and it's getting worse. More stress response, more acidity in your blood. More stress hormones released, fueling the whole mess. By paying attention to what doesn't work. Oh, that's the problem. Oh, I can't overcome that one. That's too difficult. I can't do it alone. Oh, limiting belief. Pretend you can do it. It doesn't matter whether it's true or not. That's the good news, right? It matters how you feel. It matters how you feel. Not if it's actually true or not. I guarantee you, any question in this world, there will be 1,000 experts who give you 1,000 different answers. And they are all right. It's a big confusion. Everyone knows too much. Well, why not use not knowing to our advantage and realize that the way you feel makes you decide. The way you decide makes you act. The way you act designs and structures your life. It creates results. And if the way you act comes from a good place. The results necessarily have to support that. So the question is here now, the law of attraction, well, how do you get yourself into a feeling state that actually benefits you? Instead of looking at life and saying, I'm feeling bad because of that. That doesn't help, obviously, right? So what could you feel good about? Simple question to ask yourself, turn it around. What could you feel good about right now? Is there anything in this room that you could feel good about? Is there anything about yourself right now that you could feel appreciative about? Something about you that you like? Says, yes, I'm good there. And immediately you have shifted your feeling. It's very simple. Another way to shift your feelings, remember the last time you felt really good. When was that? The last time you felt really good. And as you remember it, the feeling comes back right there. That's feeling good for free. Very simple. You just look in the archives of your past. Remember a good feeling? There it is. Relax into it. Feel good. Because you feel good, particularly if you feel good about yourself, you will be more efficient on the spiritual path. But what's equally important also is then just creating good feeling is also to abandon harmful actions, to abandon harmful behaviors. That's equally as important, you know. To avoid harming yourself or other beings in any way. And we are very good at that, at harming ourselves. As long as you come from a place where you do not really feel 100% about yourself, you're not feeling good about yourself, you're not feeling good about your life, you're engaging in a feeling that harms you and others around you. It doesn't help you to uplift, to change the situation around. Do you have relationship trouble? If you have a relationship trouble, then think about the moment you first fell in love. Recall it. The reason why you guys are together. Contemplate it. Or contemplate just how many good things your spouse did for you. It's probably thousands. In all the time, it's almost been 10 years that I'm together with Pan. I have so much gratitude because she continuously does so many good things. Such a careful, kind, loving, attentive person. That is invaluable. Now she messes up too. She drives me up the wall too. But that is rare compared to how many times she actually gives me benefit, care, love, warmth. That by far outweighs the little problems that I get. The little things that I don't like. And if it's just the loving presence of someone else that cares, remember that. Focus on what you love about your significant other. What do you like about them? If nothing comes to mind, well, it's high time for you to sit down and take out a piece of paper and actually take some time to write it down. Think it through. This is important. Why am I grateful to be around you? I'm not only talking about relationship with other people, it's relationship with yourself also. How about that one? How loving are you to yourself? Are you good at that? Can you love yourself? Are you sure? Now, of course, be sure about it. Yes, you can love yourself. Don't succumb to doubt. I'm wondering, maybe I should read a few more books about loving yourself and the right technique to love myself. Well, love begins with accepting who you are. And you can do that. There it is again, the law of attraction. You can do that. There's no need to doubt yourself. You can sit down. You can spend time with yourself and relax and have a great meditation. You can make decisions that benefit you. That's the way I use the law of attraction. I can create more kindness, more goodness, both for myself and others. And I do have the power to change both myself and others for the better. And I do exercise that power. Do I mess up? For sure. But that's not what's so important for me. I don't dwell on that in terms of, oh my God, I'm such a bad person because I messed up there. But I simply see, all right, that doesn't work, so how can I optimize that? How do I make it work better the next time? Right? What do you really want in your life? You can feel that you already have it. Just feel it. Just enjoy the pure feeling of already having it. Because that feeling, that isn't attached to a thing. You can just have that feeling. If you want to feel loved, why don't you just feel loved? Just feel it. And sit down and you pretend, I'm loved. Everybody loves me. Feel it. You can just pretend that everybody loves you. See how that feels like. You can feel that you're surrounded by love, that love is around you in the form of light. It's universal love, or a group of unicorns standing around you, loving the heck out of you. Whatever feels reasonable for you, do that. Whatever gets you into a state of feeling I receive love, I feel good about this, then do that. It builds your energy. These techniques are there to build your energy, to give you power on the spiritual path. Every time you go into the victim role, oh God, I can't do this, I can't do this. Meditation is too difficult for me, or that fear, I can never overcome that fear. It's time to change your thinking, because otherwise you will never overcome that fear. Otherwise you will never be able to accept everyone as they are. You've got to start with believing that you can. And feeling that you already have that power inside of you. Again, the way you think, the way you feel, shapes your life. It makes you act. There's a few other things that I very often use for myself. For example, for myself, the way I look at life is that life is carrying me. That, everything that is happening in my favor. So I don't feel like down if things go wrong. I do feel down a little bit, but not for long. And for me, it's also okay to feel down in life, because that's part of life too. To get ill, to feel down, to fall down, to have problems, that's normal. I also allow myself to feel really grumpy and all that, and be angry and all that kind of stuff, because it's human, it's part of life, it's part of the game. But I respond to it in ways that I find more empowering than just going, oh God, I will never get out of this. Oh, yep. I would be right there, and I don't want to be right with this. I refuse to be right with such a dreadful negative outlook. Instead, I use my mental power to create a positive outlook just because I can. You don't like it? I don't care. I'm going to be positive. If you like it or not, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that I really feel good and that it uplifts my energy and that too much benefit flows from it. I do care, however, if my actions and my mindset creates harm both for myself and others. And I listen to that. Each time something hurts, I listen, okay, what's going on here? What is there to let go of? What is there to look into? Not to complain about, but to look into, to understand and to let go. And then create some more positivity. So in that way, these two elements of the path, they're nicely balanced all the time. You have the element of cultivation, using the law of attraction, using the way you feel about yourself as a fundamental guiding principle on the path. And at the same point, letting go of stress, cultivating letting go, action and non-action. Self and not self. There is such a thing as a self, and you want to make it a fine self, a nice self, a self that actually is of benefit to this world. And then you want to let it go like a boss. That's proper. At least you let go the right way. You let go of something that's good. Like releasing a little dog, If that dog is not trained, the dog will go everywhere, biting people, peeing all over the place. You don't want that. First train your dog, then unleash it. First train yourself, then let it go. And wherever it goes, it'll just create goodness. Naturally. And maybe a final statement about, using the law of attraction to manifest abundance. And to, you need to get the newest car and the best this and more that. And okay, all right, it works, but it will not satisfy you. It will create more problems because every single thing you attract its opposite to. Remember that. That's the way of the dualistic world. If you attract something good, you attract its downside. Every single time. So if you attract a lot of good stuff, you also attract a lot of bad stuff. If you attract a lot of birth, you attract a lot of death. Can't separate them. So I say, okay, attract, go ahead, manifest abundance, but do so carefully. Do so wisely. That's the element that I would add to this movie, The Secret, right? If you do something, if you want to manifest something and you want to use the power of your mind, do so wisely. Motivated by kindness, by compassion, by clear insight, action causes a result, and that result spreads. Think of it in terms of planting a tree, a mango tree. And then the tree grows up and has many branches, and every branch has a mango. And every mango has seeds. Mangoes, I think they have quite a lot of seeds, actually. Yep, they have a lot of seeds. No, papayas have a lot of seeds. Mangoes, do they have mangoes? One. Papayas, that's the one. Papayas. If you plant a papaya seed, then the tree grows up and you have that papaya and even a mango, whatever. You have a lot of fruit throughout the year. Each fruit has one seed or many seeds, and each seed has the potential for a new tree. And many seeds are waiting just for the right circumstances. A bit of rain, a bit of fertile ground. So if you plant a tree, you want to remember that you're not just planting one tree, but you're setting in motion a universe of trees. You say, I do that one good thing. It will also trigger so much other bad stuff. I want to be famous. I want to be a superstar. And then, 1 year later, you've finally made it. You're famous. And all you want is to just stop it. Because it's like all these paparazzi out there at the door, everybody wants to take a picture with you. They write lots of trash stories about you in the magazines. They try to get pictures of you in the worst kind of positions, and then it's horrible. It must be horrible to be a superstar. It's just total bombarding of people all the time, looking at you, everyone looking at you, At first we think it would be great, and then we think, oh my God, let's just get me out of here. But I think there's this saying, it goes something like, be careful what you wish for, because it might come true. We don't really know what's going to happen, because every event brings with it a whole chain of events. It's not just one little tiny event, and then I'll be rich. No. You'll be rich, and thousands of other things will happen because of that. And then thousands of things will happen because of the first one of those thousands of things that happened because you were rich. Etc., etc. It's a huge web. The universe is a huge web of action, of reaction, of cause and result. So if you manifest wisely, meaning as good as you can take care of your motivation. I think that's as good as it gets. If it is kind, if it is compassionate, you're going a good way. Even if it will not be perfect, because nothing in this world is just 100%. Everything is just dual. But it's as good as it gets. You're kind, you're compassionate, you're uplifting, you have a good energy about you, you live a life worth living. With great power comes great responsibility. Your mind has unbelievable power. The mind shapes everything that you know in this world. And you have that power. So you have responsibility to use it well, both for your and other people's benefit, as good as you can. And then let go. You do it for the sake of letting go, not just for the sake of accumulating gold. But you do it to go beyond duality, beyond suffering. That's ideal. Because everything else is anyways unreliable. It's just cyclic, dual. So that's kind of all that comes to mind concerning the law of attraction. I hope it was useful in some way. So are there any questions?